So I want to begin with Maria Farmer. Do you know who Maria Farmer is?
Ladies and gentlemen, I want to address the serious allegations and testimonies brought before this committee, particularly concerning the survivors of Jeffrey Epstein's abuse. 3 survivors have shared their stories, involving very troubling accounts from their youth. I will focus on the responses of former President Bill Clinton to these claims, emphasizing his stance and the clarifications he provided during the proceedings. First, I want to highlight Maria Farmer's testimony. Maria Farmer was employed by Jeffrey Epstein and endured years of abuse at his hands. She reported her abuse to the New York Police Department and the FBI back in 1996. She has stated that she possesses personal knowledge that President Clinton visited Jeffrey Epstein's residence multiple times, specifically 3 to 4 visits, while Clinton was the sitting president between 1995 and 1996. This information was conveyed to her through photographs shown by Ghislaine Maxwell, as well as discussions with staff members. When asked about these allegations, President Clinton responded clearly, "I do not remember doing that. I do not believe I did." He then underscored his uncertainty by stating, "I can't speculate," but reaffirmed his stance that he has no memory of visiting Epstein's house. Next, the committee turned to Virginia Giuffre, another survivor who has given sworn statements and testified in court. She claimed to have seen President Clinton on Epstein's island, often accompanied by young girls. Recently, her family shared a diary with the committee, in which she purportedly wrote that Clinton met 2 times on the island with girls identified as CTGM and J. When questioned about this diary entry, Clinton responded emphatically, "It's not true." He clarified that he did not have the specific dates associated with these entries, but expressed willingness to review records that could shed light on his whereabouts.
And in particular, I want to focus on 3 survivors who have shared stories that involve you. So I want to begin with Maria Farmer. Do you know who Maria Farmer is? Maria Farmer was employed by Jeffrey Epstein and abused by him for a number of years. And she first reported her abuse to the New York PD and FBI in 1996. And she states that she has personal knowledge that you visited Jeffrey Epstein's house 3 to 4 times while you were the sitting president between 1995 and 1996. And she says she knows this based on photographs that Ghislaine Maxwell showed to her, as well as discussions with the staff. So let me ask you, Mr. President, did you visit Jeffrey Epstein's house while you were president?
I do not remember doing that. I do not believe I did.
How do you explain this discrepancy?
Objection, calls for him to speculate.
I can't speculate. But all I can tell you is I don't remember being there.
Okay. Moving on to Virginia Giuffre. Are you familiar with her?
Mm-hmm.
As has already been established, she has stated in numerous sworn statements, including a sworn deposition in the Maxwell trial, that she saw you on the island with Jeffrey Epstein. And in fact, this morning, her family shared her diary with me. And in it is a quote wherein she writes, quote, "Bill Clinton met 2 times island with 2 girls, CTGM and JE." What is your reaction to that?
It's not true.
Do you have any dates associated with that? Were there dates on the diary?
I don't have that information, but we'll be happy to share it with you.
Would be terrific, because I think there are also records that would reflect where else he would have been. So thanks.
Did she say that in her book?
This is from her personal diary that her family shared with us.
Yes, but the book came out more recently. Did she say that in the book?
I'm just reading you the entry from her diary that her family shared with me.
I think she ultimately reached a different conclusion, although I had no contact with her.
Okay, well, I just want to make sure that it's on the record that is Virginia Giuffre's statement. Did you ever fly in a helicopter with Ghislaine Maxwell?
Ever, anywhere? I have no idea.
Okay. Well, at least one of the survivors claims that you flew in a helicopter with Ghislaine Maxwell to the island.
Did you ever?
Then I did not do that. I've never been to that island.
Clinton also mentioned that the diary was a personal document from her family, not a public record or a book, and he indicated there might be other records reflecting his activities. Furthermore, the committee inquired about Virginia Giuffre's book, which was published more recently. Clinton clarified that he could not confirm whether she had made similar claims in her book, emphasizing that he was referencing her diary entry shared by her family. He also noted that she might have reached different conclusions herself, but reiterated that he had no contact with her during the events she described. Finally, the committee addressed the claim that Clinton flew in a helicopter with Ghislaine Maxwell to Epstein's Island. This was brought up based on survivor testimony, suggesting such an occurrence. Clinton responded unambiguously, "I have no idea," and firmly stated, "I did not do that. I've never been to that island." He reiterated his lack of involvement, denying any such trip or connection. Throughout these exchanges, President Clinton maintained a consistent stance. He categorically denies the allegations of visits, meetings, or trips to Epstein's properties that have been alleged by these survivors. He emphasized his inability to recall certain events, and expressed openness to reviewing records that could clarify his whereabouts during the times in question. In conclusion, while these survivors have shared deeply personal and painful stories, President Clinton's responses reflect a clear denial of the allegations. His statements serve to clarify his position and demonstrate his willingness to cooperate with investigations, but he firmly states that he has no recollection or evidence supporting the claims made against him. This underscores the importance of thorough investigations and the need to respect the testimonies of survivors, while also seeking the truth through factual records and evidence.